Have you ever tried creating information requirements that follow a certain pattern? How do you do that? Well, the good news is that in Planoly, you can do that very, very easily with using regular expressions. And even better, you don't necessarily have to speak regular expression. We are going to use AI to define such patterns for you in the scope module. So let's take a look. I'm going to create a new project, and I'm going to use the scope module for creating the information requirements, and I'm going to use the verify module to check those information requirements. When I hit create, my new project is going to take me to the scope module, and I can start searching for different components. I'm going to actually use search functions. So what if I need a ceiling? Let's just go with the acoustical suspended ceilings, but maybe I'm just going to make it a little bit more simple, and I'm just going to call them ceilings. And let's find the wall real quick as well. So walls, let's take retaining walls if it looks good. Absolutely fantastic. So let's add that to my requirements as well, but I'm just going to call them interior walls instead. Let's stick to some architectural scope. So now I have two elements. I have one milestone, a purpose, a reason for information exchange. I'm just going to start requesting these two elements for that given one purpose. And then I start creating an information requirement. And the information requirement has to be a pattern. I want that the uniform classification structure is applied to these elements, for example. So I create a new information requirement. I could put it into a group, into a pset if I wanted to. I'm going to leave that out for now. Just going to define that the assembly code, if I could type assembly code, will have to be my uniform structure. And that's what I define at the verification rules. So I could choose one of these predefined types, for example, comma separated values, Boolean. I could even request an empty information requirement, meaning I need a modeling property in my model without any values, and so on and so on. But instead of the predefined ones, I'm going to use AI to define a custom pattern, which is in this case going to be uniform classification, which we know starts with a capital letter, and ends with 4 digits. Well, it could be still anything, so no longer than 5 characters. Should be good now. So defining the regular expression happens by AI. So here is how this regex is going to look like. If I save it, I can start applying and adding this information requirement to my elements. So if I want to double check it, this information requirement is added to my ceilings, to my interior walls, and requested on milestone 1. Many ways to go forward from this point on. You can invite your collaborators, your modelers, your designers to follow these requirements. You can create different kind of exports. Let it be scope, data, Excel export, let it be a PDF export, let it be even an IDS specification, an IDS XML file that is machine readable and can be used in other tools for model creation, quality checking purposes, and so on and so on. But we are going to stay in the verify module in the Planoly platform instead. So I jump to verify. And I define these two interior components, so I'm going to switch to my architectural model. And as I do that, I just continue with the demo model that is given in the application. As I do that, I already see that there are 29 pieces of ceiling components identified in the model, showing up in orange color. And there are 81 pieces of interior walls showing up in green color. If we look into the details, green is probably meaning something good. So if we look into that, 81 pieces and all of them is green, it actually means that I do have the assembly code as a property. Plus, if we look into the details, it does follow the pattern that I defined. So C1010, 1 capital letter and 4 digits, no longer than 5 characters in total. What about the ceilings? That's orange for some reasons. And orange means that I do have the property as requested. So I do have assembly code, but the code, the value is not right. So if I try to find it real quick, there you go. Assembly code, 1 digit, but 1 letter, but 6 digits after that. It is even longer than the defined 5 characters in total. That's why it returns and rejects this value. Now we can start creating actionable items. We can follow up with the team. Actually, they can even find these issues themselves autonomously in the application, so they can fix these issues before posting them to you, before setting the status, for example, completed, so you can start and verify these deliverables. So what we did very quickly is using regular expressions to define your requirements, define a pattern, which in this example was a uniform classification. And then using that definition, using that pattern, we can also start checking the models that we start receiving or creating before issuing them for the downstream use.